My name is Dina, and I'm on this video with my friend Leah. And I'm starting this playlist or series on my YouTube channel about Sefer Yeshayahu, the prophet Isaiah, the book of the prophet Isaiah. And I am called this YouTube channel Singing with Isaiah 35:6, because this channel is mostly going to be dedicated to speech therapy issues. And my rabbi advised me that every time I begin a session, I should meditate on the pasuk in Sefer Yeshayahu, Perek Lamed Hey, pasuk Vav, which is about how when Mashiach comes, the lame will be able to. It's really good that I'm blurring your face because your eyes, the screen got frozen with your eyes closed.
I was trying to meditate on that pasuk.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay. Anyway, it's a whole other long story that I'll tell another time about why my rabbi shared that pasuk. That really was the inspiration to this and a lot of things. That the pasuk says that when Mashiach comes, the lame will be able to walk and the mute will be able to sing. And when I shared that with a friend of mine, she said, like, it shows how we're living in the fulfillment of the prophecies. We're living in the age of the fulfillment of the prophecies, because years ago, generations ago, centuries ago, whatever it was, like someone who had a stutter, they couldn't fix it. But nowadays we have speech therapy science that can help people fix it. And people who had language delays, they couldn't express themselves. And even in the school where I work with, people who they can't move their hands, they can't move their mouth, they can only move their eyes. I have a boy in my class that he can talk using his eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't work with him because I'm not that competent in augmentative alternative communication. That's what it's called,
Hmm.
AAC. But it's cool, like, to see him because I work in his classroom. Um,
Wow.
yeah. One time I had a conversation with him using it.
Wow.
He asked me, what do I do when I come home from work?
Oh.
Yeah. He asked me first, where do I live and what do I do when I get home from work? I
And
told
this is all communicating with the eyes and it comes up on
yeah,
a screen?
yeah. And this
Wow.
week, actually, I so I'll give the quick backstory is that the boy, he always gets partnered for communication circle, like we have communication group, like the whole class,
Hmm.
like group therapy for speech therapy. So he always
Hmm.
gets partnered with another boy who, in that boy's private session with me, I said to him, I torture you so you can learn. And he said, I don't deserve for you to torture me. You should go torture Hamas.
Oh,
They
wow.
deserve it, not me.
Wow.
So I gave this week's topic. I always like to give a topic for a communication circle. Otherwise, it's nebulous. This way, I feel like it's a targeted, it's not meant to be recess. It's meant to be that we're building communication skills. So I feel
Right.
like when I'm like strict about the topics, and it helps. So I
Hmm.
came up with a topic that they should talk about what bothers them in life. What like think are things that annoy them because of what
Hmm.
he said to me that I annoy him.
Yeah.
So the boy with the eye gaze system, he loved my topic. His teacher sat with him and I sat with the other group, and she called out to me from the other room. Let's say the boy's name is Johnny. Uh, Johnny loves your topic. He keeps coming up with more and more. He came up with 4 things that bother him. I think like his ears hurt him, and I forgot what else it was that he said. So, and he did that
Hmm.
all with his eyes.
Wow.
That's like a fulfillment of the prophecy that the mute will be able to sing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's given me a lot of inspiration and encouragement, in my career and pursuing what I do. And so I decided to start a YouTube channel, Isaiah 35, Singing with Isaiah 35, and that I will create videos talking about Isaiah. And I want to create these lessons that might be boring for most people because it'll be a bit slower, but I want to go through the psukim in a way that would be helpful for Jews who have dyslexia. And it could also be helpful for non-Jews, like Christians who are biblically based, who aren't familiar with biblical Hebrew, that they can be able to be introduced to the prophet in Hebrew. Actually, Isaiah is a book that's very close to Christians' heart because they base some of them, I don't want to tar all Christians with a broad brush, but some Christians, a lot of the foundation of their belief is on Isaiah 53. So I thought it was very tongue-in-cheek that I called my channel Isaiah 35. Um, and it's all important prophecies. And we follow the tradition that is primarily taught to us through Rashi. And Rashi translates this specific pasuk in Isaiah 53, Nun Gimel, to mean the Jewish people, a suffering servant. But Christians have come up with an alternative interpretation that they feel very strongly that it means Jesus. So I disagree with that. But I hope that Christians will still benefit and enjoy from my teachings. But being that I'm a Jewish woman, my heart is really in my great hope with this is that Jews who have dyslexia will feel like I'm opening the world of Navi to them and hopefully to all of Torah to them. So
Great.
yeah. So I thought of reading, this is a book that if anyone follows my channel and wants to support me, they can buy me this book. But I liked I want to read the explanation of this book that I feel like gives a good introduction to what Navi Yeshayahu is. So it's the Milstein edition of the later prophets, Yeshaya. More Haftorahs are taken from Yeshayahu than from any other book of the prophets of the Nevi'im. It is a book of soaring prophecies, visions of the glorious messianic future, insights into Jewish history and destiny, and powerful statements about the moral obligations of leaders and laymen. It has inspired and elevated Jews for millennia, but many of its prophecies have been taken out of context, misunderstood, and misinterpreted to serve non-Jewish ideologies. The first volume in the Milstein edition of the later prophets presents the book of Isaiah as understood by the sages and the classic commentators, all 66 chapters in one volume, in a way that makes it both accessible and enjoyable to scholar and layman alike. Thanks to the brilliance of ArtScroll Masorah, led by Rabbi Nassim Sherman, this translation and commentary provides new dimensions of understanding and beauty. It not only brings the verses alive, it makes them speak to us in language and outlook and aspiration for spiritual growth. So this is more an explanation of that exact volume, which is irrelevant to me right now. Hopefully one day will be relevant. But I felt like that explanation of Yeshaya was really beautiful.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And in another video, I'm going to go into the Assyrian Empire, which is the time period in which Yeshayahu lived. And I'll read this introduction about Rabbi Schwab on Yeshayahu. But I would love for this video to at least cover the first pasuk. to just get into that and give a demonstration if it'll open, because the other day it didn't open. And actually, I think that this was the intro by Sifaria and not the actual. No, it was. Oh, wait, this one. I don't know which one is better. Okay, anyway. So first I'm going to read it quickly in Hebrew, and then I'm going to go through it slowly. Chazon Yeshayahu ben Amos asher chaza al Yehuda v'Yerushalayim bimei Uziyahu Yotam Achaz Yechizkiyahu Malchei Yehuda. So that's the first pasuk, and the chazon means vision. La chazot chaf, sorry, ches zayin hey. That root, that shoresh, means to see. So it's Yeshayahu's vision. And actually, this is the Haftorah we read, the Shabbos before Tisha B'Av. And that's why that Shabbos is called Shabbos Chazon.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Shabbat Chazon. Yeah. So the first thing with reading is that words are separated into syllables. And these syllables are separated into phonemes. A phoneme is a sound. That's why the telephone is called a telephone, because tele means distance, like telecommunications. You and I were speaking on Zoom. That's like if you would be doing therapy for me on Zoom, that would be called teletherapy. Tele means
Right.
far away, and phone means sound. So phoneme means like an individual sound. So you have the word cat. It has three. We're gonna go through this pasuk based on syllables and based on phonemes, because that's a real fundamental principle in being able to read. The word cat is C-A-T, but it's also K-A-T. So you're able to learn how to read by saying K. So there has to be a letter representing the K. A, there has to be a letter representing A. T, there has to be a letter representing T. And then when you're reading, you do the opposite. Then you're able to say every letter is going to represent a sound. Now, in Hebrew, you have it even more difficult because, like in English, A represents the A. In Hebrew, you have just symbols underneath the, here, let me make this bigger. And you have symbols underneath the letter that gives you the vowel. So the vowels are non-letter symbols, not letters themselves. But really, a letter itself is a symbol representing a sound. So once you get the hang of the idea that a symbol representing a linguistic meaning, which is a sound, then whether it's a letter A that says A, or the symbol, the flat line, which is a patach, that represents the A, you can get the hang of it. So, so what's really helpful separating into syllables is like apple, then app, A-P. So I also have a delay. It's gonna really mess up this whole video, but Khan Academy, which is a real famous website, he said, like, even when you begin, just start, even if it's not perfect, and then you'll get better. So forgive me, viewers, that this is not a perfect video. Okay, so chazon, that's 2 syllables. Chazon. Yesha, yahu. That's 4 syllables. Ben, that's 1 syllable. Amot, that's 2. Asher, that's 2. Chaza, let's see if my video is now working. Now it's late. Okay, I really need to fix this as well. Because it'll really help the viewers be able to see me clap. That's a big strategy I have. You clap for each syllable.
Yeah.
So asher, that's 2 syllables. Now I think for the rest of the sentence, or pasuk, I'll say the syllables before the word. So there's 2 syllables for this word. Cha, and then this word has 1 syllable. Al. Even though it's 2 letters, it's 1 syllable. Al. This word has 3 syllables. Yehuda. And this word has, actually, I need to count it, so I'll have to do it together. Ru sha la yim. That actually has 5 syllables. Yerushalayim would also have 5 syllables. Yerushalayim. But when you add the vav, if you would say the Yerushalayim, that would make it 6 syllables. But when you
Wow.
change you make the vav a v, then the yud, the yud loses its vowel. It gets absorbed within the vowel of the vav, and you still have only 5 vowels.
That's so cool.
5 syllables. Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool.
You changed the vowel of the yud, making it become absorbed in the syllable of the new additional letter. Virushalayim. And here, even though there's no yud, I assume it's pronounced Virushalayim. It's like a Creek sieve thing. Be may, that's 2 syllables. And then Uziyahu, I actually need to count that. Uziyahu, that's 4, I thought so. The next one is 2 syllables. Yotam. The next one is also 2 syllables. Achaz. And then Yechizkiyahu is a long one. Yechizkiyahu, that's 5. And you see, Ye has its own syllable. Chiz, that's 2 letters that make already 1 syllable out of 2 letters. So the amount of letters you have is not going to be the same as the amount of syllables you have. And it gets confusing because sometimes the shva, these 2 dots, are going to be a I, and then it's its own syllable. And sometimes it means that you just pronounce the letter without an actual vowel with it. And then that's going to be absorbed in the syllable of the previous letter. So in Yud, it's its own syllable, yeah. And the Zion is part of the previous letter syllable, Chiz. Ki, ya, hu. So we said that is 5. Yeah, Chiz, ki, ya, hu. Yeah. The next one is 2 syllables, mal, che. And the next one is 3. Yehuda. So that's a way of reading that takes much longer, but for people who are new learners to Hebrew or people who need extra assistance learning how to read, I think this could be really magical.
Yeah.
And I hope one day it will help lots of people learn how to read. And next video, I'll go into the literal translation of the wording, and we'll go into Shorashim, and then we'll go into Rashi, and maybe, I don't know what other Mefarshim are on this, are on Sefaria, and what other Sfarim I could get a hold of for free, because right now, I have a very small budget. I have as much to spend on Sfarim as I have to pay you. So my literary consultant, I'm introducing my audience to my literary consultant, the magic behind my articles. For
Oh,
those
yeah.
of you who have been reading my articles.
Thanks, Tina. That was actually fascinating. I loved how you
Really?
explained that. And I think it will also help me. My daughter is now learning how to read. And I think that I'm gonna try to give this over to her, and I
Yeah,
think it will be, like you said, magical.
yeah. If
So
you know of any friends of yours or something like that, that their kid struggles with like they swallow words or things like that, that could also be helpful for them.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. This is what
Great.
I do with the boy that made him think that I torture him, and that
Hmm.
So like if I did every word like that, it would be torturous. But I am glad that you said that you instead felt it was fascinating. So,
Yes, it
okay,
was.
great. Okay, so thanks so much and have a great night.
Okay. Thanks, Tina.